And I've got no fucking problem with telling you. Happy to tell you. Just need to pay me 100 grand. Who's a property sourcer? Fucking everybody. Yeah. Take one thing away from today, apart from the mindset thing, is don't start a building company, all right? Well, I've not necessarily got a deal, but I've got fucking tons of them. Sup YouTube, LD here. I am in the car with G and we are going to the Edinburgh Pin this evening. And I'm going to be telling the story and showing you how we have built up a property portfolio of over 300 units, 25 mil asset value, 160 grand a month rental income. Absolutely mental. The funny thing is for me about these pin events, and I'm going to touch on it tonight in my presentation, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that, I used to go to these events and they basically give you a wee 20 seconds to stand up and like tell your story, who you are, why you're here, and all this kind of stuff. And it's funny, I found the little note. I'd created a Word document, I'd saved it back in January 2019. It's just about how my name's Laurie Duncan and we've started this company called We Buy Homes Scotland, and you know, if you want properties then give me a shout and stuff. It's really cool to reflect. So yeah, G's going to be recording the whole night, and we are going to make a super cool YouTube video out of it. I assume that's what this bad boy is. Yes. Part of, certainly. So yeah, we're going to get going. It's meant to start at 6. It's already 5:05 and I think the traffic's going to be a nightmare. Let's see.
Game time.
I'd like to welcome our next guest up, Laurie Duncan.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks for having me. Fucking hell. There's networking for 9 till 10. Jesus. This is very much past my bedtime already. Never mind 10 o'clock. So, right. I've not got, or I've certainly never prepared like a bonus or an offer or anything like that. I'm not here to sell you anything, right? But in the interests of, good spirit, we should create some bonus stuff here. So, if anybody wants like a free copy of our book, a deal calculator, what else we got? Video educational content.
Hundreds of hours worth there. Hundreds of hours.
Yeah. First thing for everybody to do, right? Who's heard about me or the brand or anything before? Who's already heard of us? Who's not heard of us? Yeah. That's like probably our biggest problem, right? Folk just don't know about us. Now, by the way, I'm not going to give you the slides, but take as many pictures as you want, right? Because you might like some of this shit. First thing I want everybody to do is I want to connect with you, right? I want to connect with you on LinkedIn. So if you want to open up your phones, my name is Laurie Duncan, L-A-U-R-I-E, Duncan. Please just go into LinkedIn, search my name, you'll find my profile, connect with me. That's going to be massively valuable, hopefully for both of us. I'm one of the founders, owners, and directors of what is known these days as Real Property Scotland. Previously, we were known as REWD Group, which was R-E-W-D, still actually the name of the group, officially. R-E-W-D stands for Real Estate Wealth Development, and that's how we started out. The name REWD got a bit weird as we were getting a bit further on in business and life, so we thought we'd better kind of change it up. So we did that last year, and we're now Real Property Scotland, all right? Our USP. And I'm interested to speak to anyone. See the thing about the FCA thing, how you stand up and you can't say you've got a deal? Is that only for the 20-second thing? Or is it like now as well?
No, you can talk about
I can now?
studies.
All right, okay. All right. Well, I've not necessarily got a deal, but I've got fucking tons of them. Single units and portfolios. And really that's our USP, right? Our unique selling point. We are investing heavily in staff base, marketing. We're typically trading around 30 single units every month, all off market, direct to vendor, discounted properties.
And that's separate to portfolio transactions, right? So we've probably got maybe 5 portfolio deals on the go just now, various other ones that are in discussions. And there's this kind of like common misperception about like off-market deals or even like auction deals, like everybody thinks like they're falling down or whatever. It's nothing like that. These situations are sellers that are motivated. Everybody's heard of a motivated seller, right? That just means that really that's just fancy property speak for sellers in the shit. And you know, it's typically the 3 Ds that we come across, which is death, debt, and divorce. And that's the harsh reality of the situation. These people need to sell. And we can create a quick solution in exchange for a discount against the true value, right? So some of you might be interested in working with us. And if you are, just as I say, connect with me and get in touch. And you know, why you might want to work with us. Well, and I'm very conscious of like a bit, this might come across a bit like the whole presentation, you know, it might come across a bit like kind of, oh, look at us, look at all we've done. That is not my intention, right? Like Andre said, you know, this is about you guys getting maximum value from this time that you've committed to spend in this room tonight, right? So what's the deal with Q&A? How does it work?
We can do it after.
Aye, so I've actually got a bit, you know, at the end. I'm hoping there'll be a bit at the end and then we can do a Q&A if anybody's got Q&A. Yeah, we are credible. This is the point. And this is me just demonstrating our credibility. We currently own about 300 properties all across Scotland. It's 25 mil asset value and about 160 grand a month of gross rent. That's a mixture of resi buy-to-lets, a long term. We've got some serviced units. We've got deals directly with councils. We do a bit with Mears, who are they're housing asylum seekers, for anyone that doesn't know, amongst various other things. So that's just a bit about us, and we basically support other people build their property businesses, right? So the main trading activity of the group is in consultancy, support, and off-market deal trading, all right? You know, the start of the presentation, the opening slide, about 300 units, we've built it all up with none of our own money and we've paid 0 tax. Christ, there's probably most of you being like, aye, right, you know, got to be somebody's money, got to be some fucking scam going on here somewhere. I'm going to challenge your reality a lot throughout this presentation. I'm going to say a lot of things that you'll be thinking, LD, you talk some amount of shit. I do not believe you. And that's cool. I'm used to that. But everything that I say and everything in this presentation is factual. We have achieved that goal. And again, it's not about, oh, this is me. I just want you guys to try and take away that this can be done. All right? 100% return on investment, year on year. All of our clients are achieving that. So our objective really is to become the UK's #1 home buyer. Now, we've only recently just launched in England. We're in the East Midlands now. We've got 2 brands that operate down there. We Buy Homes England. We've got We Buy Homes Scotland as our off-market direct-to-vendor brand. Anybody seen We Buy Homes Scotland? Maybe? Yeah. No, gee, you're not doing your fucking job right, son. We Buy Homes Scotland is our off-market direct-to-vendor brand in Scotland. We Buy Homes England, of course, is our direct-to-vendor brand in England. But we also operate as town and country property auctions in both Scotland and the East Midlands area. We've not actually done any deals ourselves yet down in East Midlands. We only launched at the end of last year. But we do have some listings and we have sold some stuff. We've just not bought anything ourselves yet. But in order for us to become the biggest home buyer, we need to be working with lots of guys like you that want to buy loads of discounted property deals. Because, you know, of course we buy ourselves. Of course we do. We do a lot of different types of projects, as you'll see throughout the presentation. But there's too many deals, and we don't have enough liquidity to buy everything. And a lot of folk are like, oh, but why don't you just buy them all yourself then if they're that good? Well, we fucking do. But we've also got enough that we can trade you guys. All right, so that's how we've expanded the business. This is a very cool slide, and I'm very proud to be standing here with this slide, albeit 25, 26 is a projection, right? But this year, 24, 25, that will run to the end of March 2025, we'll do 2 mil plus turnover, right? Now, we've built that up, as you can see, from nothing. We only really started trading properly like 3-4 years ago. But the coolest part about this slide is this. Can anybody see? How does this work again? Is it that? Oh, there you go. Right, I like to name my files so I remember when I saved them. So this is, what's the date? 17th of January 2019. Everybody see that? When I started coming to these pin events, I used to come to them all the time when I'm getting started, just like some of you guys, right? And first time, Lindsay's like, oh, well, it wasn't Lindsay at the time. Who was it back then? Who? Time? Aye, what's time? Aye. Where? Ah, yeah. And it's like, right, you've got the opportunity to stand up and tell everybody what you're doing. And I'm like, fuck that, I'm not getting up there, no way. No way. Couldn't control the inner world. So I didn't do it. But then, so the next time I came back, I was like, right, I'm really going to prepare for this. So I wrote this out. And this was my wee first ever standing in front of anybody, talking for 20 seconds about what I actually did back then. Now, as you can see, the brand was created way back then. We never even used it until about, I don't know, 3 years ago, something like that. But it's funny to look back on that moment there, compare it to the results of our main trading activity, because that's just one of the companies. But not only that, to be standing here with the opportunity to now share my story, to hopefully motivate and inspire many of you guys, it's fucking cool. So, what's that? What, R-E-W? What? Oh, was Emmendale? Oh, was that in there? Yeah. Emmendale. Oh, fuck, aye, okay. I totally forgot about that. Still actually exists as a business. Emma is my wife. I am Laurie. Emma and Laurie. There you go. I would have forgot about that if you hadn't mentioned it back. Anyway, so what time have I finished?
Just before 9.
Before 9, okay.
Just before.
Okay, so tonight I want to cover as follows. And I don't even have a slide on mindset, right? This is just the kind of the stuff I want to talk about. I don't have a slide on mindset, but I tell you what, anybody listen to Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett podcast? Did anybody hear the podcast with Alex Hormozy? Marketing guy, maybe a week or two ago, right? Fucking awesome. And who was that? You listened to it today? Yeah, cool, man. I'm sure it's the first, maybe half hour. He's talking about, you know, everybody goes and works with Hormozy, and they think they know what they want, which is like to go and just make loads of fucking money, have a successful business. But actually, what they really want and need is the support to create the belief to allow them to get over their fear of even starting in the first place, right? And I'm sure everybody can relate to that. Honestly, it's bizarre for me. I used to be shit scared of public speaking, like put off proposing to my wife for like 11 years. Because I was like, I am not standing up in front of people, I am not talking. And you wouldn't think it now, because now look at me, prancing about up here. You know, we've flung ourselves in at the deep end many a time on our journey. And now, here we are. But that thing about, like, mindset is absolutely critical. I keep going back to it, man. The reason we are doing all that we are is down to mindset. Absolutely, without question. Strategy, raising finance, all that shit, all good. The difference is mindset, mind control. Don't get me wrong, I don't always control it. But I try my best. And I'm very lucky to work with Mr. Alex Robertson and Mr. Connor Tracy, who are my business partners. We're the three joint owners. And collectively, we have very kind of objective, balanced structure around any debates that we have, and we tend to come up with decent solutions most of the time. Anyway, we're going to look at corporate structure and tax. There's going to be some shit in there that none of you you'll not even know about it, I'm sure. And I'm very conscious that this is like a 45-minute talk, and I'm trying to cover like a million things. So like I say, we'll get you some free stuff so you can like learn more, right? Just make sure you connect with me. That structure is when we started like a training company, right? Back in 2021, maybe 2020, 2021. And now that's actually what Real Property Scotland has become. But we started off a training company, 4-day events, come and spend the 4-day with us, download all the information, and then go and crack on. That's what we started off doing. And this was the structure for our course, Rood Pro, as it was called at the time. So I'm going to kind of go through the steps of all of that in terms of structure. Now, don't let this confuse the hell out of you, but This is our group structure chart. Now, on the right-hand side, we've got buy-to-let businesses basically from back in the day, from when we kind of started up, right? In the middle, we've created a new holding company recently for our investments, and that was a strategic decision. I'll go into that in a bit more detail in a second. But this kind of venture in the middle here, we just bought 100 units up in Aberdeen. Last September, we concluded, valued at 12 million, bought for 7 million. So when talking about, I think Bill was talking about the ways, or trying to buy portfolios discounted. In my game, in my fucking office, in my day, that goes on all day, every day. Now, not deals of that magnitude, but certainly tons of portfolio deals regularly transacting at big discounts. This on the left is the trading group of the group, if you like. And this is where we've got Real Property Scotland, which is the kind of consultancy and off-market deal supply. We then have a developments business that previously did commercial to resi conversions, converted a big farmhouse. We've got some land stuff like you were talking about. The black lot, we do like auction flips and refurb to flip, and I'll talk about that a bit later to explain the differences. But all the kind of trading activity happens over here. Real Finance Scotland is a new business that we launched, but we've not yet got funding for. But what we want to provide to the market is, effectively, we want to be the private investor. So we want to fund property deals at 100% loan to purchase price, because we've already been the ones that have secured the deal. We know its true value. We know what we're buying it for, what you guys can buy it for. So why would we not want to also fund that deal? All right. I'm not looking for a JV partner or an investor, necessarily. But if anyone's... Till after 9, aye. But I mean, if anybody's got a spare 2 mil in their back pocket, give me a shout later on. So this has all been set up strategically, right? But back in the day, myself and Alex, you know, we had these corporate lives. We were travelling around all over the place. We were working kind of internationally. It was a pain in the ass. You know, we're trying to settle down, have families and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, the reason we got into buy-to-let, or the reason we started building that portfolio was to escape that, right? We got to like 40 units in about the first 18 months, all with private investors and raising creative finance and all this type of stuff. And so anyway, we took the kind of plunge, or kind of got asked to leave, rather, from our corporate lives. And then, you know, we were gung-ho and Rood Group. Shortly after that, maybe about after 2 years, something like that, we went full-time. First deal, Alex put a 50 quid Facebook ad, you know, the boosted post that you do on Facebook, you put that up saying, we're looking to buy some hooses. Anybody want to sell? Somebody got in touch and said, aye, I want to sell. He was getting married at the time, and he couldn't go. So he says, LD, go and you go. LD's Laurie Duncan, if I'm confusing the hell out of him. Go and you go, see if you can negotiate it. And if you can, we'll kind of go halfers on the deal. 2-bed, ex-local authority flat in Alloa, bought for 25 grand. Private investor cash. We got the cash for one of our mates who just had cash sitting in the bank. Gave them first charge security, paid them an interest. 7.5 grand refurb. Put that on a credit card, 0% on purchases for 2 years, cash flowed it. Refinanced it at 65k. Got all our cash back, paid back the investor, paid back the credit card, and still had extra cash in the bank, right? Now, that is the type of stuff that we do on a daily basis. And again, maybe a lot of people, depending on your experience, might not believe that there's that much opportunity in that space. I can only tell you from my own experience. But basically, that was the first deal. That's what kicked us off, and then we repeated that process multiple times, and now that's just what we continue to do. The Lanarkshire portfolio was our first big portfolio deal. Well, our first portfolio deal, it just happened to be a big one. It was 82 units, valued at 3.7, purchased for 2.9, funded 100% with other people's money. Right? We had about £500,000 of cash come in across 3 different joint ventures, another great way to scale your business. And then we got funding at 90% loan to purchase because we had secured a 20% discount from the deal, from the true value, right? After we'd done that, it led us into multiple other portfolios, and now obviously we're in a position where we're kind of just like known for it. Oh, here we go. Well, that one's all right. Oh, well, sorry guys, you need to look over that way. Led us into multiple other portfolios, and now we trade them as well as obviously buy for ourselves. Rood training I mentioned about. And developments was on the board there, on the left-hand side in the trading entity. You want me to just crack on?
Just
Aye. Developments is basically the kind of main trading entity where we do like flips, conversions, and all that kind of stuff. BCL was a building company. Any tradesmen in the room? No. Good. They are the most unreliable beasts I've ever come across in my puff. And we used to employ 30 of them. 30 fucking tradesmen. Can you imagine? I mean, they rinsed us for 2 years. It was not a success. So we shut it down. And now, actually, we've got Holly, who's our project manager in the office, and she deals with loads of subbies all across Scotland. And subbies are great because they go when they should go. They're reliable. They do a good job. You pay them. They come back for more. And so now we've got a really good network of subbies that we use. That's a much better way to operate. Please. What's a sub? Oh, sorry, a subcontractor. So like a joiner guy who's self-employed or a plumber or whatever. All right. So please, if you're thinking about starting a building company, fucking don't. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Just trust me. If you take one thing away from today, apart from the mindset thing, it's don't start a building company, all right? Anyway, I mentioned our group structure. Right, who has heard of the alphabet of alphabet shares? Okay, cool. Does everybody know that shares can do 3 things? Shares can allow you to have the rights to vote. It can allow you to have a right to capital, the value of the business, and it can allow you the right to dividends, to earn from the profits of the business, all right? By setting up your buy-to-let company, if we're talking buy-to-let here, if you create 3 separate share classes and you allocate capital to its own share class and have that share class owned by a trust, as your business grows, all that value is going to go into trust. A tax-free environment. All right? So for anyone that's talking about dodging IHT, who likes paying, anybody for HMRC? No? Even better. Anybody like paying tax? Because I speak to some folk and I'm like, and they're like, they like paying tax. And I'm like, I do not fucking get this. But anyone that doesn't like paying tax, or sorry, likes to legally minimize the amount of tax they pay, I should say. There we go. All right. You should think about that if you're operating a buy-to-let company, all right? Joint ventures, I mentioned, it's how we've massively scaled. I've got a point about expenses, and I think that was one of your points on your slide that I certainly picked you up on it, Andre, about the kind of benefits of running a business like that. See, like to have a business producing cash. Like, there's no point in you just taking all the income out as income. Like, that doesn't make sense. What does make sense is to load your business full of expenses. Business expenses, of course. Legitimate business expenses. And what's that? Well, I did build I built an outhouse. That wasn't a tax dodge, though. That was just because I'd done well selling some units. Back in the day, I built this thing in my back garden. It's got like a fucking gym and a sauna and a steam room and all that kind of thing. But basically, but back in the day, I bought 3 units over 9 years. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just ended up buying, and then I waited a few years, and then saved and bought another one, and saved and bought 3 units in 9 years. Unbelievable. Because I thought I was a pro, because none of my mates were doing it. You know, I was a guy with 3 properties. Anyway, held on to them for years, and eventually just sold them because I didn't need them, and I had cash in them, so I sold them and built this fucking man cave. It's totally super cool. Deals, deals, deals. Right, who's a property sourcer? Fucking everybody. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of dodgy ones out there. And they'll no show you all the fees, and they'll make the deal look a lot better than it actually is. Let me give you an example. I saw a deal. In fact, there was a new client came in to look to work with us, and she was asking me, do you think this is a good deal? It's a 1-bed flat up in Aberdeen, valued on the open market, valued at 60k, and she had secured it for a whopping 52,000. Now, who's going to buy that deal? Be honest. Is that a deal or no deal? What? Maybe? Right, well, there's 8% ADS, additional dwelling supplement. You've got your legal fees. You've got a sourcing fee that they never presented in the deal of 7k. Big ones. And I'm like, motherfucker, by the time you add up these costs, you'd be better just buying it off the open market. I couldn't believe what I was saying. Refinance it, leave 20 grand in the deal. Come on, baby, that's not how to roll. If you leave 20 grand in every deal, you're going fucking nowhere. So it's important that you can analyse deals accurately. That deal calculator thing will help you. I'm very conscious of time, so just be aware of these, like, you know, sources out there telling you that they're good deals. There's tons of deals that are not good deals that people are buying, and I can't understand it. I'm kind of getting close to the end, and I want to try and leave a bit of time for Q&A. I'm actually glad Barry brought up Emma and Dell there, Emma and Laurie, right? Clothing are my two totally super awesome little babies, Chloe and Daniel. So clothing was started, and it's actually my wife's name, right? So what I wanted to do was start all over again. I wanted to be a client. I wanted to be somebody that started with no money, that just bought deals, replicate the process, and see where I got to, right? So I have nothing to do with this business apart from the fact I kind of run it in the background. But it's just an email address, and like Emma owns it 100%. She's the only director. It's her gig, right? But I just manage it. She signs stuff sometimes. So we started in August 2023 with zero cash. Started the company, opened the bank account, thought, all right, let's do it. Can I do this all over again after doing all this stuff in Rood Group and Real? Can I do from a standing start, from a single client's perspective with no money, can I create a success of it? So the goal was within 2 years, which will take us to August this year, the goal was to create 10 grand a month of rent coming in and a 250k cash position in the business. Right, that was the goal. I like setting big goals. I like setting unrealistic goals. I don't like setting goals that are in fucking cuckoo land, but I do like setting goals that are really aggressive, going to be challenging, but believable with a bit of graft, all right? So we've ended up now with a mix of units. I think there's 12 units in the portfolio now, 1.5 million asset value. The rent, after we've tenanted them all, because there's still some going through refurb and refi and all that kind of stuff, but after we've tenanted them all, the rent will actually be 13k a month, gross, right? Over 12 fucking units. 12 units in 2 years. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this, right? It's nothing fancy. I'm not some super intelligent guy, as you can probably tell from the way I speak. I'm just a guy that implements strategy, believes in himself, and I've done it again. So that's me pretty much on time. I hope you have taken away lots of juicy golden nuggets. And like I say, we've only had like 40, 45 minutes here to really go through everything that we do, we can support you with and all that jazz. But for anyone that's interested, get in touch with me on socials, drop me a DM. Oh, stopped at the right time. The last slide only says, yeah, so you don't need to see that one. But I've tried to leave a little bit of time for a Q&A. Are we all right with that? Okay. You've got what?
If you were to do it all over again, what would you do earlier? One thing.
One thing, what would I do earlier?
You knew you would do earlier, or you would probably do quicker as a result.
Learn the refinance strategy. Because see, back to that very first property that I bought that took me 9 years to get 3 properties. The first property I bought, it was 2011. I moved into my house in 2009. Markets had crashed, nothing was selling. I bought my house, and across the road was a house that had been for sale forever. I went over and I just chanced my arm and said, right mate, I'll give you 80 grand for it. It was valued at 115. He told me to fuck off. And then 6 months later, he came to the door and said, right, we'll take your offer, because nothing was happening. Now see if I knew what I was doing then. If I had been like, right, cool, got a mortgage, bought it with a mortgage, you know, that, nothing fancy. If I had just known I could have refinanced it against the 115, I put it on a 3-year fixed and sat back and took 500 quid a month. Fucking hell. Lost time. Christ, I'd have been a millionaire a long time ago if I'd done that back then. So, see this refi game? So much money in it, man. So much money in it. And it's all, anytime you get cash back in, tax free, baby. Not profit, it's just cash in your bank. So, definitely. Play that game professionally, you'll make a lot of money. That was mega. That was super mega. Tons of people motivated, inspired, ready to go and make some moves in the property space, baby. So, for anyone that hasn't already connected with me, just search Laurie Duncan. It might actually be Laurie LD Duncan, Laurie Duncan. Connect with me on social media, follow me there. That's where you're going to see all the content, all the group stuff, all the educational stuff, where you can learn how to implement all these advanced type strategies that I've been talking about tonight. Enjoy.